Looking to pick up your very own custom sleeves? Well, look no further. Go to yourplaymat.com where you can choose to have your very own image on the back of sleeves, or you can choose from their amazing range of pre-designed artwork ready and waiting for you. Get them shipped directly to your door and use the affiliate link and discount code down below to get 10% off. What are you waiting for? Go and grab your custom sleeves from yourplaymat.com.
What's up YouTube? Down here from Zephyr War Games, and as you can see laid out before you is my 60 card Pendulum Magician deck that went 4-0 at last night's locals. Now yes, it is only locals, but the deck still had to come across a lot of troublesome decks. It had to face 2 Tri-Brigades, which were a pain in the backside, and of course a Shadow deck, which if you can imagine just going a window pass, can be a little bit difficult to get out with Pendulums, unless they get a monster that can out and out from one Pendulum summon. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive head first into this profile, but I'm not going to go through to it as card by card. I'm literally going to lay out each section for you, and then I'll talk you through each section and the whole idea and premise behind this deck as to why I think it is still incredibly powerful and just the options that it can provide if you are looking to build it, and the reasoning behind a 60 card version. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So, of course, we do play triple Harmonizing Magician alongside triple Wisdom Eye and triple Oath. These are your core Pendulum cards. Now, you need to be able to get... Turn off, there we go. You need to be able to get your Harmonizer to the hand. That is the whole idea, because Harmonizer on herself, not only is she a tuner to help you with your Halley Firebrats plays, but she's also there to special summon another one from the deck, giving you instant level 8 Synchro access, or of course rank 4 access as well. Wisdom Eye is of course in there to set up any of your scales and also fill himself up in the extra deck for an additional Pendulum summon. Then of course you've got Oath Dragon, which allows you to add the Harmonizing back should you normal summon it, but it also allows you to add the Wisdom Eye back just to maintain your resource every single time. Now, the reason that these are so important and these are your core cards is because these are the ones that are going to utilize and move the engine forward. The whole idea behind this deck is that if you have the ability to not use your normal summon and still get full combo, then all of your normal summon plus your Pendulum summon are all backup. If you can't do that without your normal summon, again, your Pendulum summon is there to be a backup. It is there that if you do get Nibiru'd, if you do get stopped, you're able to continue to make your plays purely because you've maintained your normal summon, which, as we all know, can be anywhere from 5 cards all the way down to at least 1 card in Harmonizing, and straight away that gives you Link 2 access. So it can go into Verte, but it can also go into Savage, and it can also go into a rank 4. Then for your extending Pendulums, you do have triple Chronograph and triple Abyss Actor. So these are the ideas that if you control no monsters, you can special summon this from the scale. And if you put this in the scale, destroy it, and then special summon out the Time Gazer from the deck. On top of that, if a card is destroyed, you can special summon this card from the hand and another one from your hand. I mean, if we had Astrograph back at 1, you know 100% it would be going in here as well. Then of course we've got Double Iris. Now Double Iris is the other one of the cards you would actually want in your scale, purely for the fact that if you do get to activate a Scales effect to destroy itself, you will get a Time Pendulum Graph or a Star Pendulum Graph, whichever one you want to go for, and Time Pendulum Graph being an amazing trap card that pretty much can help get past anything you really need to worry about. Then of course you do have the one Time Gazer, which is your Garnet because it comes off the back of your Chronograph. We've then got your Dragon Pit. So Dragon Pit is nice back row hate as well, but it also can be an alternative to your Double Iris, purely because you don't mind having this with Oath in the scale. It really works out the best for you. We've then got the one Celestial, and the reason we play Celestial is because it is a performer pal, so it does combo off with the Sorcerer and the Joker. So I'm not really a big fan of this kind of engine. The Celestial is good because obviously it's a Magician and of course it's a performer pal. There was one appearance of the Sorcerer, and the idea behind Sorcerer is it can pop your stuff to then search you out these 2 cards, or at least one of them, which could be your Skullcrabat. And if you've had to use your Pendulum summon before your normal summon, then of course you do get Joker, and it just allows you to maintain a bit of resource. But ultimately, it wasn't necessary in my build-up of play. And then the last Pendulum monster is of course Purple Poison. Again, its scale effect is very relevant. Its also destruction effect is quite relevant as well, but it is 9 out of 10 you being used and abused as a lower scale and a summon off of Harmonizing. Now onto the non-pendulum monsters. So we do play triple tuning. She is a tuner, she is a free extender, she is what you are going to be summoning out of with Halifibrax. She is incredibly consistent. You just want to make sure you don't use her effect during time, because that 800 swing of the burn will kill you. But 9 times out of 10 you are having enough time to kind of burn through your plays, get to her, use her as a tuner off of Halifibrax to then make Celine and then go from there. Triple Magician Souls, again, just a free extender. Sometimes the draw effect does come into play if you are desperate for it, because it can help you send spare Pendulum calls, it can help you send spare Duelist Alliance, Allure Darknesses if you're not feeling that risky, a Red Eyes Fusion if you open up with it. And it can also send the Fog Blades if they are already active on the field, and there are other ways of getting rid of them as well. Then for the Phantom Knight engine, we do play the 1 Boot and the 1 Cloak, alongside the 1 Zero Day. Now again, the reasoning behind all of these engines is pretty much, if you wanted to make the Pendulum deck, you can cut it down to about 52 cards. The additional engines is of course the Dragoon engine and the Phantom Knight engine, and the pure reason behind that is because this deck can pump them out like no tomorrow, and it just, the Phantom Knight gives you back row protection, and then Dragoon just gives you another additional negate. But I have found myself a couple of times, if I've had to overextend or go through my combo, is that I don't have a card to discard in the hand. But that's where Oath Dragon comes in, because if you can save Oath Dragon's add back to the hand, you do that at the last thing. People are like, I'm not worried about Dragoon, he's got nothing in the hand. And they just go Oath Dragon, add back. And then you're like, yeah, cool, I'm good, I'm ready to go. Then we move into the real spice, and the real spice is double Zoro and a single Crowley. Now again, I would want to play Zoro at 3, I just can't find my third copy at the moment. But the idea behind this is, because Zoro is a tuner, it does count as an additional starter to get into your Halifibrax plays. If you do play Pendulum Call, you do put a Pendulum, or you can put a Spellcaster Pendulum in the graveyard, which means you can save Crowley for later on as an additional extender if your board gets stopped or changed. But the whole idea is Zoro, normal summon itself, equipped itself with Magister's Moon Maiden, Magister's Moon Maiden, add the Crowley, and then straight away you can discard a card, special out Crowley, you've got your 2 monsters ready to go for your Halifibrax. It just counts as another starter in alongside Tuning Magician. Then for the hand traps, we only play Gamma package, purely because there are a couple of stuff you want to protect, like your Duelist Alliance, your Pendulum Call, which are always going to be prime targets to be ashed. But on top of that as well, Gamma is a great hand trap to be used against your opponent at the right time. Because it is a 60 card version, you want to minimise the hand traps at where at all possible, because the idea is that from your 60 cards, you want to bury your garnets as much as possible, you want to draw into your scales, and straight away just get in the right scales, you're good to go. Because you've got a lot of consistent cards that search each other, you don't really need to worry. And at the end of the day, if you open up Zoro or Tuning, or Zoro or Harmonizer, or anything like that, as long as you've got a starter tuner, you've got so many different mechanics of summoning that you should be good to go. We've then got the Dragoon package, purely because it's just so strong. Like, literally, worst case scenario, your opponent stops your Pendulum summon, your opponent stops your special summons, but you're still able to normal summon Zoro, straight away that gives you Dragoon. It's not ideal, it's just such a strong card that your opponent has to deal with, that if a deck can pump it out, you're good to go. Now, if you don't have the Dragoon package, you don't want to play the Dragoon package, you can take these 3 cards out. The 3 cards you put in is a third Zoro if you can find one, but you can also put in more hand traps if you want to. I wouldn't advise it. I'd probably go for more draw spells, or just more spells in general for the graveyard. And then what you'd ultimately do is, rather than making your Dragoon at the end of your combo, you'd probably make like a rank 4, like a Time Thief Reader, because then at least you'll get an additional bounce. So that's it for the monsters that are non-Pendulum monsters. Now on to the spells. So for the spells, of course, we're playing triple Duelist Alliance, triple Pendulum Call, triple Allure of Darkness, triple Pot of Desires, and 1 Star Pendulum Graft. So again, quite straightforward on this one. Draw card, get your 2 scales. We want to play it at 3 because it doesn't matter if you see this early, because this is just an additional extender. Duelist Alliance can get you Star Pendulum Graft, Time Pendulum Graft, but it can also get your double Iris, because it is counted as a Pendulum monster or a Pendulum Dragon monster, no matter where it is. So this can turn into a scale, it can turn into 2 scales, it can turn into a recursion card or a trap card. Speaking of trap card, 2 Time Pendulum Graft, 2 Fog Blade, and 1 Shade Brigandine. Extender, back row Negator to protect you, and then back row Destructor, so, well, just general Destructor. So this is probably the one card you're going to want to be searching the most. Like, if you open up Pen Call, you use Duelist Alliance to get this, unless you need the monster. If you activate Pen Call, this is even better, because you get to send a card and pop a card. And then off the back of that, I've actually found myself taking this out game 2, like side, because if I know I'm going first, I side this down to 1, purely because it is consistent to search. that I don't want to be opening up with it if I'm having to go second. I want to try and OTK, but if I do, if I'm not able to OTK, I still want the option to have this set as back row because it's just such a powerful card that my opponent really struggles with. I also end up cutting the Fog Blade down one as well because, again, going second, you don't want to be relying on your traps as much. You want to be able to OTK, and then if you can't, because the combo's so consistent, you're still able to get your plays through and set up your protection board as well as breaking your opponents. Now the extra deck. Now the extra deck is pretty free in certain aspects, depending on where you want to go and what adaptations you want to make. So we're going to breeze over the pretty standard bits here. So obviously Dragoon, standard. For the XYZs, we're playing the 1 Time Start and the 1 Tornado. Tornado is literally just a meta choice in the sense that, you know, you want to try and trigger this on your opponent's Tenki, and you can easily take this out for Abyss Dweller, Nightmare, anything you want. It's completely open. That's where your Redoer could go as well. The 1 Savage, if you don't have Savage, can easily be a Mega if you want to, just to kind of take 1 card from your opponent's hand, and also means your Gamma is going to be a little bit more live. But again, it's completely open to you. It's very rare that you make this because you go in for the Dragoon route, but again, up to you. The 1 IP Masquerena. Now, IP can lead into your Appaloosa, but it's more times than not going to lead into your Bardiche, purely because you sometimes need to turn 2 lights on the board into a dark in order to meet the Bardiche requirements. I should probably finish off with the Link ones first. So the other Link ones we've got is the Artemis the Moon Maiden, obviously off of your Magister's combo, and the 1 Link Spider, just to turn your Shade Brigandine into an effect monster so that you can then legally go into, of course, your Verte Anaconda. Off of the back of that, we are playing, of course, Halifabrax. So we are playing the core Link monsters from Duvo. And then we do play the Codebreaker engine. Again, this just helps so much. Like, you make Selene consistently, which gives you your free zones. If you're worried about Nibiru, as long as you've got an additional extender, you can go into Appaloosa, which does give you the zones as well. And then off of the back of that, you end up going full combo, and then you're able to set up Bardiche, and you're also able to set up like a Dragoon, a Rank 4, or any other Link 2 IP Masquerena, for example. You've got your access code for your pure OTK, so you make it with Selene, it's always going to have 3k. If you've done the combo correctly, you've probably ended up with a Water and a Light, so that's 2 non-target pops. And then, of course, Appaloosa is your defense. You only ever really make her with 2 negates, which is more than enough because the idea is that you're going to be doing this as you build up your combo. And it's only if you're worried about Nibiru, because like your opponent might be like, right, I'll wait for him to use his Pendulum Summon and then I'll Nibiru them. And you go, right, actually, I'm kind of safe now, so let's just use Selene and something else. Selene and maybe even the Tuner Magician you've brought back from the grave, make Appaloosa. You've now got 2 negates, you're protected from Nibiru, and then you can go full combo to get into the Breakers, and the Breakers then lead you into Bardiche with a back row, which can be 1 or 2 Fog Blades, and then you've also got the ability of using the Shade Brigandine to make a rank 4, or turn it into Spider, Verte, Dragoon, and your opponent's then facing down a 2 negate Appaloosa, a single Fog Blade, plus a Rusty and a Dragoon. So it's like if they can't break that board, they're going to lose, which did come up against a Tri-Brigade match. I literally had to burn through all of my negates to kind of stop it because it just kept going and going and going and going. But I did it at the right time, which ultimately led to the victory. So now I'll show you the extra deck as well, just so you can kind of see, the side deck, sorry, so you can see what I was using. So for the side deck, as it is a 60 card deck, you ideally want to be playing 3 ofs. So this ideally would be triple Dark Ruler, no more. I couldn't find my 3rd Dark Ruler, so I put in a droplet at the last minute. Triple Evenly, I think this is the best board breaking card, especially like against Tri-Brigades and everything like that, because you make them trigger their revolt. By triggering their revolt, they then, yes, okay, they get their searches, they get everything you need, but if you're able to clear their board and then rebuild, you're good to go. Of course, Lancia again, so the ones that I put in my deck the most were these 9 cards here. So Lanciers, because I was facing a lot of Tri-Brigade. Sometimes I put in Nibiru, and then ultimately I was like, nah, what's the point? They're just going to make Apo before their 5th summon, and not bother. So Evenly was better against them, so was Lancia. Lancia just shuts their turn down, and you're good to roll. And then the last one is, of course, Triple Cosmic Cyclone. You don't really want to keep discarding a lot of stuff, so that's why I went with Cosmic over Twins. You could put in Lightning Storms, but again, it's a 60 card deck. The chances of opening up a Lightning Storm to be effective as early as you possibly want it to is going to be very minimal. So Cosmic ultimately took a more consistent place in the deck. And that's it. So literally, I think I put in Cosmic Cyclone once or twice. Didn't put in any Dark Rulers or anything like that, purely because I felt that the matchups that I had, it was such a mixture of back row, front row, that I was actually better off using Lanciers and Evenlies to try and deal with that. Anyway, I hope you like this build. Like I said, it's pretty similar to my last build, which is why I haven't tried to analyze the whole list in specifics, but just to kind of give you a breakdown of what it does, what the whole idea behind it, and what routes you can kind of take. If you do have any other questions, by all means, put them in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But as absolutely always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.
Looking to pick up your very own custom sleeves? Well, look no further. Go to yourplaymat.com, where you can choose to have your very own image on the back of sleeves, or you can choose from their amazing range of pre-designed artwork ready and waiting for you. Get them shipped directly to your door and use the affiliate link and discount code down below to get 10% off. What are you waiting for? Go and grab your custom sleeves from yourplaymat.com.